I want to welcome you to Dream Chasers Radio with me, your host, Yaya Diamond. What's up, people? How you doing? It is a great day, and it is an author's edition. You guys know how much I love authors. This is just really, really cool. I mean, to get someone who's starting a series of different books, like right at book one, this is truly rare. We'll be right back. Don't you go anywhere. I want to welcome you back to the show. This is going to be sweet, guys. We got the very first book that's already out. And well, actually, I don't think it's already out. I think I'm just kind of overstepping my welcome. But we do have Miss Kathy Hyatt Moore on the show today, and I'm so very happy to have her. Thank you so much for joining me.
Oh, you're welcome. It's a pleasure to be here and speak with you.
Oh, thank you. The pleasure is mine. It's always mine. It's going to be mine.
Okay.
I absolutely love talking to people. So tell us about yourself.
Well, let's see. I'm a grandmother. I have 4 children and 9 grandchildren. I've had the distinct privilege of being able to travel all over the world. I've lived in Scotland, Italy, Saudi Arabia. I've traveled extensively all over Europe. And I've used these experiences in my book because I've been exposed to different cultures, different people, and had a rough year last year. I lost my mother, my aunt, and my husband, and my mother-in-law, and sold my house and moved down to Greensboro, North Carolina. And I'm not going to let it get me down. I'm not a quitter. And so I am using my energies now to create. I was an analytical chemist by training, which sounds odd, different from an author.
Right.
But I've got that real dichotomy of my scientific part of my brain as well as the artistic part of my brain, because I do also paint, I write music, I write poetry. So I'm just trying to develop that artistic side of my brain now in the latter half of my life.
Wow.
So that's me.
Wow. My condolences for
Thank you.
It's hard. I know at the beginning of COVID, I lost my stepfather. It was kind of,
Yes.
yeah. And so,
Yeah.
it's hard. I mean, I can't compare, losing people, but we can say that they left a really beautiful memory in my heart that I'll never forget.
Exactly.
And that's,
Exactly. My mother was an avid reader, and so she influenced me quite a bit.
Mm.
She would take me to the library at an early age. I started reading at 3, and I zoomed through all the books in the house. So she took me to the library, and that's how I got interested in science fiction and fantasy. Edgar Rice Burroughs' book, Mars, on the Mars series, and that was it. I was hooked. Science fiction and fantasy are sort of my genre now. Though I do love a
Wow.
good mystery and a good romance.
Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh. I love sci-fi, and I love romance, and I love action. I mean, you put the
Yes,
two
yes,
together and it's
yes.
like, I'm gone. Did
That's
she
what
did
this book
somebody
is
call
about.
me? Did somebody call me? Call my name? I don't know.
Well,
So,
that's what this book
wow.
is all about.
Wow. Did you know that you were going to be writing a book? I mean, you know,
I had always wanted to write a book, and when my children were growing up, I said, I really want to write a book. And my middle son, I have 3 sons and a daughter. My middle son said, you'll never do it. So when I well, he was sort
that's
of that way, just kidding. But
that's a dare, right?
I know. So I took that and I ran with it. And in 2016, I originally published the book. This is a republication.
Mhm.
I have rewritten it, made it better, added a chapter, cleaned it up because that was my first attempt. But I took the first book that I had written, first time that it was published, and I presented it to my son and said, "See there, don't give your mother a dare."
Oh my gosh, right? I double
Right,
dare you, triple dare you. I hated that
right,
because it's like, okay, you can't put that down. You can't like walk away from that. How you gonna do that?
yeah.
Oh my gosh. So tell us about the winds of is it your
Aruna, Aruna,
Aruna. Aruna.
Aruna.
I'm sorry. Let me tell you, I speak Spanish. So to me, that was like Uruna.
Right, right. Well, I also speak Italian and German and a little French and a little Russian. So
There you go. So
yeah,
yeah,
it gets
it's
kind
kind
of
of like
confusing.
yeah, it kind of messes with my brain a little bit.
Yes, yes, yes. Well, the full title of the book is Winds of Eruna, Book One, A Flight
Mm,
of Wings. And
mm,
essentially, the book is about a society of beings on the planet Eruna. There are two societies. There are the winged beings who are called wings, and there are ground dwellers who have no wings, and they are derogatively called grubs. But because they live on the ground, they're not allowed in the trees except to serve the winged society. But the story begins far, far to the north with a little girl who has a prophecy. She sees a vision, and her father is dead, but she has a really sweet relationship with her grandfather, whose name is Tavat. Her name is Ulu. His name is Tavat, and she tells him that she has to travel far to the south to attend a school called Cliffside, where the beings dwell in trees. Now, I thought of giant trees long before Avatar ever did. But my trees, the trees in my book, are far larger than those trees because there are buildings that are built in the trees, and there is an entire school housed in the three trees of Cliffside.
mm.
So she talks her grandfather, into going with her, and they select several warriors to travel with them. And the first part of the book is about that journey. Meanwhile, going on at the school are two students who are falling in love. And unfortunately, the female student, her mother is the high matriarch of the 8 realms of the land, and she's evil. She's not good.
She's got to be evil.
She's evil. She's evil. And that's the thing about the book. There's a very clear cut delineation between good and evil, right and wrong. And you see that develop through the story. But it's just a real sweet story. Anyone can read it. It does not have any foul language in it. I would consider it high fantasy with maybe just a touch of dark fantasy, but anyone of any age can read it and come away with something.
That's
I present different cultures, different societies, because I've been exposed to so many. I wanted to sort of bring that into my writing and show people that, there are many different ways to live a life.
mhm,
Not everybody has the same experiences or live in the same way that you do. And that's okay, that you can bring acceptance and love and kindness to them,
right.
regardless of how they've been brought up or where they are or how much money they have.
Mhm.
So it's just it's a statement on society too, as
Wow, that is
well as
so cool.
entertainment.
That is so cool. I love books like that. I mean, I absolutely love books like that that brings that whole thing in there and it gives you a different viewpoint of a different time, a different era, different, location, even culture. It's just wonderful.
Right.
It's just wonderful. I love it. I love it. So let me ask you this one question though. Okay, so everything that you've put into the book, are you
Mhm.
doing another one?
Yes, I am. It is already written. It is called Winds of Eruna, Book Two, A Flight of Dragons. So there are some dragons that will be coming into the picture.
Uh-oh.
Yes.
Oh, I like this. I like this.
Yes.
I love
And
it. I
there is
love it.
also a book three that I'm working on. The two students that I was talking about that fall in love,
Mhm.
um, they have an offspring, and she is brought into the picture later on. But and she meets up with Ulu, the character from the north.
Mhm.
But there's a lot of little different stories intertwined as you read through the book, and eventually they come together in a really pretty tapestry. But there's also a battle and a war. There's loss, there's gain, there's love, there's healing, there's rebellion. But I think it's just a very interesting book, and I hope that readers will be as entertained as I was writing it.
That's wonderful. I hope so too. How big is the book? I mean, how long do you think it'll take a person to kind of read it?
Well, the first book is about 365 pages. The second book is over 500 pages, because
Wow.
the first book mainly presents the characters, presents the scenario,
Mhm.
presents their what's going to be happening, what's happening. In fact, I had some new artwork done. My granddaughter is a fabulous artist and has already sold paintings. She came up with the concept for the book cover, and she also designed a map of the region for me, and so that's been included in color in this book. And then the second book, I'm brainstorming on what I want the dragons to look like.
Mhm.
Um, So anyway, that's just it in a nutshell. That's what the book is about. Just lots of different adventures and a war and a battle and love
Wow.
and peace and joy.
Wow. No, no, okay, okay. So I love books. I do read, I read a lot. Okay. Between reading and audiobooks, I even have my library in the house. But I wanted to find out, do you or are you going to like maybe turn this into like a script kind of thing, a screenplay
It
for
is
a
being
movie?
turned into a screenplay right now by my publisher. They're writing a screenplay. I'm also my book is going to a book fair in Frankfurt, Germany, and I'm hoping to fly over there so I can practice my German.
Mhm, mhm.
Nobody
I
around
mean, you
here
don't,
speaks German.
right. If you don't use it, you lose it, right? It's kind of
Yes,
hard. Yeah.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. One of my grandchildren who is homeschooled is studying German. The
Mhm.
other one is studying Italian. So when I go visit them, I'll speak Italian to one, German to the other. And unfortunately, the third one is learning Japanese, and I know zero Japanese other than konnichiwa.
Yeah, no, my
So,
son, he speaks fluid Japanese. I don't know how he
oh,
did it
wow.
because I don't. I don't.
Wow.
I don't fluid. I'm like, I don't know what you did, how you did it, but congratulations.
Right. That's right. That's right. But
Wow.
there's so many ways I want to develop this story.
Right.
It's I foresee just going book after book after book because there's so many ideas that I have for it. And then I have other ideas for there's a purely science fiction book that I'm really just chomping at the bit to write, but I need to develop these books first.
Mhm.
But I have a lot of ideas of books that I want to write. It's just finding the time.
Yeah, yeah, but you're gonna do it. You're gonna do
Exactly,
it. Yeah.
exactly. What I do, and I would suggest this for all budding authors, is I commit myself to an hour a day on the computer and I just type away whatever comes to my mind. And then later in the week or the next day or whatever, I'll spend another hour going through it, cleaning it up. But I commit to an hour a day, except on Sundays.
Mhm.
Got to have a rest day.
Yeah.
And that is sort of how I wrote the book, was just by committing the time daily. I will get
Wow.
up, have my coffee, get dressed, put my makeup on, and clean up, maybe make my bed, and then I'll start writing. And that's what you have to do when you're a writer. You have to commit to it. It's not an easy task, but if you commit to do it, you'll become a writer. And
That's
my goal is to become a better writer, which is why I rewrote this book, and I'm having it republished. So
that
with
is so good.
yeah, thank you.
That is so good. Congratulations on that.
But thank
I
you.
wish you nothing but the best. I hope that this is like a big thing and then all of a sudden it comes out in the movie so I can go see it
I
in the
hope
movie too.
so. I hope
Because
so.
I'm the kind of person where okay, if it's a book, is the movie coming out? I want to see the movie first
I
because
know. I
and
know.
then I'll read the book because I like to take my time with the book. The movie, I
Right.
just want to see it to see give me like a general outline of what's going on in the book because it's
The
never
basic
the same.
story.
It's
Right.
never the same. It's always different. I
It
love, love,
is.
love it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, and I'm always reading, right now, I'm reading about 5 different books at the same time. I'll pick up one and read a bit of it and pick up another and read a bit of it. But I'm reading things, not just a sci-fi series that I'm reading, but also I read a lot of theology. I read a lot of history. I read a lot of how-to books. I'm building a farm, a log cabin. I've bought some property, and I'm having a log cabin built. It's got a stream and a pond on it, and I can't wait to sit out on my deck and write
Oh
and
man,
hear the
that's
birds chirping and the chickens clucking
oh my gosh,
and
that's
the
like
goats.
that's picturesque right there.
That's my dream. Well, that's what my husband and I wanted to do. And when I lost him last year, his death, unfortunately, well, it enabled me to pursue that dream. He had a really good life insurance policy, which I finally got. So
Mhm.
I can do what he and I always wanted to do. I just firmly believe it's what he would have wanted me to do, go to
Right.
that lifestyle. And, and I want to also have it sort of as a ministry that I'm going to raise chickens and bees. And if anybody's hungry, I can at least feed them eggs and biscuits with honey on it.
There you go. There
Yeah.
you go.
So
Yeah,
anyway, that's sort of my dream.
that's kind of cool. That is really kind of cool. I like that. I like
Well,
the
thank
log
you.
cabin with the sit with the whole thing. I like it. I like it. And I can't wait to see all of the books that come out of you sitting on that porch.
Oh, yes, by that pond.
Oh my gosh, that's going to be wonderful for you. Well, I
Yeah,
wish you nothing but the best. I'm going to
thank
have the
you.
link to the book in the description box below so you guys can go ahead and get that at Barnes and Nobles. And I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in. And Miss Moore, thank you so much for joining me today. It's been a pleasure.
Well, thank you. It's been a real pleasure meeting you and talking with you. I hope to one day meet you face to face so I can give you a big hug. I'm
Oh,
a
that would
hugger.
be so cool.
I'm a
I
hugger.
love hugs. I'm a hugger. I'm a hugger.
Me too. Me too.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Don't forget to dare to be different. And until next time, guys, bye.